In a peaceful countryside village, far from the noise of the world, lived a kind and wealthy farmer with two sons. The older son was steady and hardworking, always helping his father in the fields. But the younger son had dreams that reached far beyond the family's land. Every day as he tended the animals, his eyes wandered toward the horizon, wondering what life looked like out there, in the cities among lights and laughter. Later at sunset, he approaches his father. The gentle man turns, wiping his hands after a long day's work. The son speaks, his tone firm yet uncertain. "Father, give me my share of the inheritance. I can't stay here any longer. I want to live my own life." The father looks down silently. The weight of a broken heart fills his eyes, but he nods slowly. He knows that sometimes love must let go. As morning light fills the sky, the son sets out with a bag slung over his shoulder and coins in his hand. The father watches from the gate, his hand resting on the wooden post, eyes following the boy until he disappears down the dusty road. The young man traveled for many days, crossing valleys and hills until he reached a bustling city, full of noise, color, and temptation. The streets were alive with music and dancing, merchants shouting, and lights glowing deep into the night. For the first time, he felt free. No rules, no responsibilities. Just life as wild as he imagined. Days turn into weeks. He rides horses, attends feasts, and throws coins in the air as entertainers perform. He lives fast and freely, until the purse of gold grows lighter each night. But as the days passed, his gold ran out, and so did the laughter. The same friends who once drank from his cup now looked away. The doors that were open before were now shut in his face. Soon after, a terrible famine spread across the land. He wandered the cold alleys, begging for food, sleeping under broken roofs. Every face he passed turned away. His stomach growled with pain, and his heart grew heavy with regret. He thought of his father's house, the smell of bread, the laughter of servants, the warmth of home, all the things he had thrown away. Finally, a farmer took pity on him and offered a job, feeding pigs. It was filthy, degrading work, but it was the only way to survive. Every morning he trudged through the mud, hungry and exhausted, shoveling food for the animals. He would stare at the pig's meal, dry pods and husks, and wish he could eat them himself. As he sat there surrounded by filth, his mind wandered home. He remembered his father's gentle voice, his mother's smile, the smell of freshly baked bread. Tears filled his eyes as the truth hit him. He had traded love for loneliness, home for hunger, freedom for chains. He buries his face in his hands and cries silently. That night, under a blanket of stars, he lifted his eyes to heaven. "I will go back," he whispered. "I will tell my father I have sinned against heaven and against him. I don't deserve to be his son, but maybe he will let me be his servant." Days pass. He walks through fields, valleys, and rivers. The road is long and his feet are blistered, but his heart is lighter with every step. Along the way, he sees children playing, farmers working, reminders of what he lost. Meanwhile, his father had never stopped waiting. Every morning, he stood by the gate, gazing down the same road his son had taken so long ago. And one morning, he saw a figure, thin, tired, barely recognizable, walking toward home. The son falls to his knees, voice breaking. "Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you. I am not worthy to be called your son." Before he can finish, the father lifts him up and embraces him tightly. Tears stream down their faces. But the father said, "Bring the best robe. Put a ring on his finger. Prepare a feast. For my son was dead and now is alive again. He was lost and now is found." The house filled with music and laughter once again. Servants rushed to prepare food, children danced, and joy overflowed through every corner. The father smiled as he placed his arm around his son. No longer the lost boy, but a man reborn through mercy. In the background, the older brother looks on silently from the shadows, confused but witnessing the power of forgiveness.